Hi, Ange. I appreciate you were asked about his situation on Saturday, and you said that Michael Nicholson deals with the transfers, and it only comes to you if it's serious. There's been sort of growing suggestions over the past couple of days that a bid's been accepted for 𝗙𝗂𝗹𝗶 Giakoumakis. Have you had an update on his situation at all?
No, pretty much the same. As I said, Michael's dealing with all that stuff, and again, as we sit right here, no one's leaving, no one's coming. It's pretty much the same. There's always going to be speculation and around the place, but from my perspective, at this moment, there's nothing that's definite that's happening.
Just given that you've brought in 3 players in this window, and you said you're still potentially looking to be active, is there a need or a desire at all from yourself to streamline the squad, potentially in areas where there are quite a few players?
No great urgency. Again, those kind of things. Look, what I want us to be in a position is that, by bringing in those 3 players early, is that we're in a position now where we're not really sort of on tenterhooks through January. If we do happen to lose players, we're not sort of scrambling about to try and replace them. We've got a really strong squad, which I'm happy with, and we can make our decisions about, incoming or exits without sort of, the need for any sort of urgency or panic on our behalf. Our planning has always been that we try and get our business done early. Like I said, we're still active. I still think there's probably a space for one more. Now, if no one exits through this window, that's fine. Yeah, we've got a big squad, but we've already seen that with our schedule, they can all contribute. But if people do exit, we're in a position where we've already sort of covered those absences.
You take on St Mirren tomorrow night. They are the only team to have managed to beat Celtic this year. Are you expecting a kind of the players to be up for this even more? I know your players are up for it every week, but with regards to sort of revenge, because they are the ones that beat you earlier in the season?
Oh, I'd be really, really disappointed if they're more motivated tomorrow than they were in the last game or the one after that. That's not my expectations of any team. Your motivation should be every time you play to try and be at your best to beat whatever opponent's in front of you. If you need sort of revenge as a motivator, well, you know what, go and lose every second game and you'll be great. But that's not how it works, particularly here. We're very motivated because we're representing this football club. We're in a strong position in the league, and we want to continue, our consistency in performance and results. That's our motivation. That's our motivation every week. So it doesn't need anything extra to get these guys up and running.
And can I just ask you as well, it'll be 3 months this weekend since VAR was introduced to the Scottish Premiership. Overall, what's your thoughts on it? Do you think it's helped improve the game?
You must have missed my last 4 press conferences, so my view hasn't really changed. I've already sort of made people aware of my concerns early on, and I haven't really, addressed it too much since. So I think it's all on the record, and we move on.
Hi Ange, I suppose it's a positive thing for a manager to have a squad full of players who want to play every single game, but if there was any kind of unrest or unhappiness over lack of game time, how would you yourself deal with that within the team?
Yeah, again, it's not something I kind of put too much thought or emphasis on. I think there's been only maybe a handful of players who haven't had an opportunity this year. For the most part, they all play, and they all contribute. So, I've said in the past, you can have guaranteed game time, but you won't play for this club or any big club. Guaranteed play time, you can get it at a club where maybe they're not as strong or not competing for trophies, but that's not what these players want. They want to be the best, and they want to win every competition. Well, to do that, they understand you need to have a strong squad, and they need to compete for places, and that's what they're doing. If at any point a player is not happy with that or wants more game time, well, there's only one way to do that, and that is train hard, and when you get your opportunity, do well and present yourself in the best possible light. Or you can look for other opportunities elsewhere. But I don't spend a lot of time sort of worrying about whether a guy is happy with what sort of contribution he's making. I'm actually looking at the contribution they're making. That's more important to me.
And the St Mirren tomorrow night, do you expect this to be a slightly trickier tie, than maybe in the past, just given the way that St Mirren are playing this season?
No, not really. I think, for us, it's again about just making sure that, we continue on sort of, making sure we're really strong in our conviction of our football, and, the way we start games is important, particularly at home, making sure that, we're working really, really hard, both with and without the ball, those kind of things. When we do that, as has been proven, we're difficult to stop. So, every game has its, opportunity to be tricky. The weekend game was tricky. The game before that was tricky. It's how you overcome the challenges. And, we've been really good, in the last since the season started, to be honest, for the most part, at overcoming those challenges.
I was just wondering, is there any update on the squad from the weekend, and do you expect to make any changes to the team that started the game on Saturday?
Fair to say, the game itself and obviously the conditions took a fair bit out of the boys, so I haven't kind of made final decisions yet, but there will be some changes tomorrow, I think, both because of, like I said, it took a fair bit out of the lads on the weekend, and also we need to kind of freshen up the team, I feel. So we'll make a few changes. I guess the pleasing thing for me is that, guys who've sort of been out recently, 𝗙𝗂𝗹𝗶, Ralston, Welsh, McCarthy, all training, all available. So, obviously, from my perspective, we've got some options there now, and Alistair Johnson's is good now after missing the weekend games, or not starting anyway. So, I think it's fair to say we'll make some changes tomorrow on the back of the weekend game, but also I just feel, it's a good one to sort of freshen up the team a bit.
And how much do you think the World Cup experience has helped the players that were there in Qatar?
Yeah, I think we've definitely benefited from it. You just have to look at the guys. I've already mentioned Alistair, but Aaron, Days and 𝗙𝗂𝗹𝗶, these guys. I'm missing one there as well. And Cam, you're right. Yeah, sorry. You're on the ball, mate. I think if you look at their form and how they've come back, they've been really strong, all those guys. And, it's a funny one with the World Cup, because you want them to have a positive experience because they're going to a World Cup, but if they don't play, or if they maybe struggle through it, then you kind of go, well, are they going to be in the right frame of mind? But they all made really strong contributions to their country, and I think that helped them come back really sort of with even more belief, and I think that's translated into their form with us, because all those five, I think, have been really strong contributors since the World Cup.
Hi Ange, congratulations on getting to another cup final at the weekend. You sent a lot of us home happy. A year ago today, I know you don't like looking back too often, we got to see 𝗰𝗄𝗃 𝗙𝗵𝗃 and 𝗙𝗂𝗻 Maeda feature for the first time in the hoops. I know you knew 𝗙𝗂𝗻 from your time at Yokohama before that. How would you say that both of them have developed in that year since joining the club? Yeah, I think really well.
Like I said, I already kind of knew 𝗙𝗂𝗻, but also was really confident about Rayo as well, because I'd experienced playing against him, or his team playing against us in his first year in the J League, the year before I left. And I think the beauty about both those guys is they're just really strong-willed and strong-minded about their football, and continually looking to improve, continually taking on every challenge. And I think you're seeing that, that it's whether it's the football or whether it's, the culture, whatever it is, they're kind of tackling it head on and without any sort of fear or hesitation. And I think they've been, both of them have been tremendous for our football club. And again, the beauty of it for me is the best is yet to come. They've got more levels in them, both those guys, and they're gonna deliver that in those levels, because I see them every day, just how hard they work and how much they want to improve.
I seen earlier today that Matthew Anderson's extended his stay at the club until 2025. We talked a couple of weeks back with Darren Day. He said he's in constant communication with yourself and Stephen, obviously, too. How happy are you to see Matthew commit his future to the club?
Yeah, really happy. He's one of a number there now where, I think you'll find over the course of the next sort of 6 to 12 months, they'll start beginning to make an impact at first team level. I really believe that. I think the work that Darren and Stephen are doing at the moment is outstanding. We've already had sort of Bosun and Rocco with us, but guys like Matty and Benny Summers, there's a couple of others there that like I said, I'm in constant dialogue with the guys about how they're going, and I'm seeing it with my own eyes that there is improvement there. So great that Matty's committed himself to the club. Again, he's one we've got high hopes for. It's about now providing him with the opportunity, but also him grasping that opportunity in his growth, because as we've seen with all these talented young players, there's still a way to go for them to make it. But he's got a great attitude. He works hard at training. He wants to improve, and I've got no doubt that before too long he'll get the opportunity that he's worked hard for.